If you can't even go look in the mirror and be happy about what you see, good luck starting anything.
I feel like building a business, especially in the very beginning, is like putting a puzzle together, right? For me, when I'm building a business, especially in the very beginning, I didn't have the blueprint. I didn't have the entire roadmap. I had no idea what it looks like, honestly. But I just stayed really focused on what is the next step you need to achieve to get yourself to that next step.
Am I having joy in doing this activity that is consistent with my purpose? And if that joy is there, then I feel uplifted. And it doesn't matter if I'm getting paid or not paid or whatever. It's just that I feel that spirit. I feel that breath of life come into my lungs. It uplifts me. I'm ready to do this work.
When somebody else says jump, if they're in an authoritative position, you jump. And I've always been like that. Like, I'm a very firm believer in I am a leader, but at the same time, if I sit down and you know more than me, I'm gonna shut the listen. And that's why I've been able to like project my life forward.
I feel like sometimes we can get overwhelmed when we're like, I don't know the whole picture, I don't have the whole plan. I've always entered a project or a business without having the whole plan. And I think that's really key to getting started and really key to figuring things out. So just like a puzzle, like I would just look for like that next puzzle piece that I needed to just capture and lay down. And once I picked it up and I laid it down, I connected it to what I was doing, and I figured out what the next piece of the puzzle I needed was, then I would move on to that next piece, right?
Don't listen to people that are not where you want to be. And it's a very like basic, simple breakdown, like a basic, simple question. But the reason why I love that piece of advice so much is because, and I always like bringing it back to this, let's take school for example. In the most raw way possible, if you go into an entrepreneurship class in college, you're an idiot. Because that person is not an entrepreneur and they have no idea what they're talking about. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. You got people teaching business and how to start and run your own business that are teachers and failed at everything they've done. And I no hate on them, like, dope, you're teaching. I love teaching, it's what I do, I'm a coach. But why are you listening to people that are not doing what you want to do? I'm not gonna listen to somebody how to fix my car when they don't even own a car and have never worked on one in their entire life. Like, it's just a simple breakdown that I feel like a lot of people can try to attack from different angles, but the truth is the truth, and that's just how it is.
So when I take a look at all these different types of systems, and I look at the leaders and say, well, what differentiates the best leader? And it has something to do with this spirit, passion for something they hold deeply at and consciously at bay. Who they are and why are they in the world becomes very important to them. The leader part is that they're able to bring out those characteristics in others, that consciousness in others. They don't do it by cajoling or by manipulation. That can be done. It can be done for a short term, but it's not a long-term measure. But they actually help people in the discovery, if they're not already awake to who they are, they help them become awake to why they're in this business or organization. And together that they start to move aggressively towards a vision. That's what differentiates teams, and that's where work spirit comes into play. That spirit of purpose, and it's enunciated. They know what it is, and they speak directly to it.
So as soon as I was like, quote unquote, off the clock at 5 p.m. at my daytime job or whatever, I'd go straight into developing my creative projects. I really treated my creative career during those years as like my second job, just as if anyone would have like a double shift, right? And doing that for a few years really helped me feel comfortable eventually quitting my day job and then moving to New York and then kind of like hitting the ground running with all my creative energy, right? So yeah, I definitely, I remember when I was doing like so many different things at once. And I think for people who, you know, want to have a creative side hustle or they want to transition from like their day job to like a full-time creative career, just having the discipline to building out like what does that transitional period look like? Because for me, you know, unless you have like a nice chunk of money where you can just transition easily. Like I didn't have that. I was like saving up and working this second job creatively to build my creative career so that I could slowly transition.
Look at your surroundings. Your surroundings will make and break everything. Like Dan Pina says the breakdown, like you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It is like the most real quote in the world. I cut out drugs and alcohol because I stopped hanging out with the people that were feeding me drugs and alcohol. And it's not their fault that I became an addict. It was my own. And I'm very self-responsible in that aspect. I'm the one who picked up the pills. I'm the one who like drank the bottles every goddamn night. It's not their fault that that happened. It was me. But I wasn't able to get out of that life until I stopped hanging out with the losers that only wanted to do that.
I feel like I was rushing a lot in my 20s, like rushing to make it, or like rushing to prove something of myself, or rushing to have something to show for myself, right? So if I could, a piece of advice I give my 20-year-old self is don't be in a rush, enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, enjoy everything you're going through, because it goes by really quickly, right? And then it gets a lot harder. So yeah, that's what I'd say. Don't be in a rush.
Be appreciative that you've learned how to manage yourself, then move towards leading yourself. And leading yourself is understanding and starting to do the deep inquiry that you'll do for life. Why am I here on earth? For what purpose? And then to establish a vision, probably as a 20-year-old, it's probably 25, 5 years out. Where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? Being with, learned, knowing, all those areas, and then what values do I want to operate within. So it's really developing that vision, value, and purpose for myself. And then once I have that, then I'd say the last step is start to identify people that I align with on purpose at different levels and start to move with them into the world.
And when I look at everyday life, when I look at the world, when I look at achieving something, it doesn't make sense to me to just work, to drink, to sleep, to work, to watch TV, to drink, to sleep. What the f are we doing?